Welcome back to another video. So within my previous video we have seen how we can transfer 3D models from SolidWorks to Blender. So in this case the file format was GLB. Now let's take a look at CATIA V5. So I have over here prepared a mechanism. This is also available on my channel since I have a different video regarding the rack joint and the gear joint over here in order to perform a sequence mechanism. Now, regarding the transfer towards Blender, if I will go up to File, Save As, we're going to see over here that we have multiple file formats. So we have the step file, which can be used but should be previously converted since Blender by default will not accept step files without a third-party plugin. And we have the following file formats. So also IGS. And the one that will go directly within Blender will be WRL. So I'll just call this sequence 2. I will hit save. And if I will jump within Blender, this is Blender 4.3.0. We're going to see that it no longer imports WRL. So this is a legacy file format. As we can see, it will not be available over here by default. But I also have installed an older version, so Blender 4.0, in this case 4.02. If I will go to File, Import, afterwards we're going to find the following WRL over here. So with that selected on the desktop, I will select the sequence. On import, we can also change the orientation. So within CATIA, we have the Z-axis going upwards. Within SolidWorks, we have the Y going up. So therefore we can just change this on load. We say that we want the Z to be up. I'm going to hit import and we're going to see the model will start being imported within Blender. Depending on the complexity of the model, this may take several seconds, in some cases even minutes. And we have the model loaded. We already see that the model is pre-selected. And this is within the default cube. So as you know, within Blender, the default cube will have a length, so we have that edge with 2 meters. If I will jump over here within CATIA, and if I'm gonna do a measurement, let's say for example for this table, I want to measure this distance, we're gonna see that this will only be 450. But what is important is that WRL will maintain the dimensions. So if I will delete the default cube, we're going to see that underneath that we have those loaded. And what is most important is that we also have the colors transferred using this file format. But everything will be divided into surfaces. For example, we see this gear, I can select it and I can grab it and move it upwards. But in this case, we see that, for example, this section over here has been divided into multiple components. And we also have a wide amount of cameras within the viewport. This is because by default, if I'm going to go all the way on the bottom, we're going to see all the viewports over here added. So WRL also saves camera position, and within CATIA, we had multiple cameras within the viewport, even though they are not visible, but they are used by CATIA. So for example, I can go to the front view, I can go to the top view, or I can press F4, and this will enable the following tool over here, and I can just swap the views. If F4 hotkey doesn't work directly for you, you will have to go, for example, within Sketch Tracer, and over here this will be so view selection. If you're going to click it once, afterwards you can reactivate it, regardless if you are within Sketch Tracer or not. And over here on the bottom we also have the perspective modification. I also have a different video regarding this, but this will only change the visualization, so nothing happens to the geometry, just the perspective of the camera that is used within CATIA to render the viewport. So I would recommend over here to delete all of those, since those are just those cameras. And afterwards we have the geometry over here, and we can start grouping elements together. And this will be important. As you can see over here, we have a lot of surfaces, so everything has been divided, but we can select multiple elements and have them join together by going to join, and afterwards we can individually manipulate those. We can also change the geometry in this case, as you can see, and we have those prepared. Okay, so this is how you can transfer 3D models from CATIA to Blender. Within a newer version, they also added support for GLB files, just like within SolidWorks, but for Katia V5, WRL is the best solution. So I hope you find this video useful. I will position a similar video on the left side, and I will also add a subscribe button to the right. So that's it. Thanks for watching.